Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be playing some more Double Masters Draft. This is the most popular format that I've ever uploaded, so we're going to be doing some more of this. Okay, first pack here. I'm not really sure where to go, but I'm being pointed in the artifact direction again with this Oblivion Stone. I feel like I could take the Flooded Grove. It's just not a bad first pickup. There's nothing else in this pack that's like too heavily leaning in any particular direction, so yeah, we'll just take those two. Kind of want to make Trash for Treasure work, but that's sort of what we did last time. Alright, next pack, we got a Mystic Gate, Skull Mulcher, Treasure Creeper, Unlicensed Disintegration. So that's potentially destroy target creature with an upside. There's a Sift and an Urza's Tower. So Sift is probably one of the better spells that we could have out of blue. I see some stuff for the equipment deck, namely Darksteel Axe. I don't want to take the tower and see if we can make Tron work. We have O-Stone. I'm gonna do it. Okay, Phyrexian Revoker. I don't think Phyrexian Revoker is generically powerful in this format. I think I want Chromatic Star out of this pack. I'd also take Glazed Fiend. Glazed Fiend is like really good in the aggressive artifact deck. I mean, like, we don't really have, we're not hardcore committed to anything right now. Yeah, alright, you know what, I'll try it. So there is a Golem Skin Gauntlet, a Orcish Vandal, Driver of the Dead, Joyrus Familiar, and Volshock Gauntlets. So Golem Skin Gauntlets is a pretty good equipment. Orcish Vandal is a shock stick, which I actually kind of like, especially if we can get any chromatic stars. Yeah, let's try this. 5 first picks, 5 different colors, effectively. Unless I start getting, like, last picking Tron lands, I'm probably not playing Tron. Okay, there's a Thought Reflection. If you would draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. There's a Lightning Greaves, Alabaster Mage, Eager Construct. Kind of like Lightning Greaves to protect anything that we would be playing. Eager Construct is good with Glaze Fiend. I think I'm going to take the Eager Construct. I think it's just better to have more creatures effectively. Parasitic Strix is good. It's another artifact for Glaze Fiend. It synergizes with Glaze Fiend specifically because then it like does a mini shock helix. Other than that, Goblin Cavalier or Orcish Vandal would be fun, but I don't think we're in the equipment deck. High Market. Sack a creature, gain 1 life, or add colorless. I think I'm just going to take a Darksteel Axe. Yeah, we'll just take a Darksteel Axe. This card's really good. I probably should have taken the first one that came around over whatever I picked. But, I don't know that we're playing any of those. If we're really heavy blue, I could see us using that to splash for like an Ancient Stirrings or something, but I have no idea at this point what exactly I'm playing. I've ran into some like pretty powerful Grixis artifact decks in my off time. Stuff with like Oxida Daredevil and just ways to recur that and take advantage of it. They seem kind of fun, honestly. Alright, in this pack there is a Silumgar Scavenger, an Iron Bully, and a Bone Picker. We don't... I guess we could play Orcish Vandal to turn on Bone Picker. It's not an artifact. Silumgar Scavenger is good, powering up creatures we control. I kind of just want to take Skinwing, though. It's an artifact, it's a creature, it can, late game, be used to equip something else. I actually think Skinwing is one of the better picks here. There's an argument for Bone Picker, but... Okay, we'll take a Golem Skin Gauntlets. Trash for Treasure would be fun, but we're not probably in that deck. I think we're probably going to be Dimir, unless we get like a whole bunch of Goblin Cavaliers and equipment. Sift or Heartless Pillage. Heartless Pillage gives us a treasure token if we attacked, otherwise it's just a Mind Rot. I think I take the Sift. Could have taken the Mystic Gate, but I don't think we're splashing white for anything. Surge Node, Core Tapper, or Costly Plunder. If we're putting charge counters on anything, we definitely want Core Tapper. Core Tapper is the best way to do that. Costly Plunder could be good, and so could Sanctum Spirit, honestly, because we're going to have a lot of artifacts, but being able to discard artifacts to give a creature indestructible would be pretty good, I think. Gleaming Barrier, Driver of the Dead. I'll take a Supernatural Stamina here. It's a pretty decent combat trick. I guess I'll take Restoration. I cannot play a 7-mana enchantment, I think. So we're mainly looking for creatures, and honestly, more Glazed Fiends. Because as long as you're playing at least one artifact a turn, a 2-mana Glazed Fiend, or a 2-mana 2/3 flyer is great. And if you're playing more than one artifact a turn, it's really good. Okay, maybe we're in red, because, like, Is It Charm Lightning Axe or Is It Charm a Braid is pretty fantastic. There's an Open the Vaults, which we could use to, like, I don't know, make some huge creatures or something. The only fixing in this pack is Expedition Map. Like I said, we're probably not playing the Tron lands. Question is, do we take Is It Charm and a Braid, or Is It Charm and Lightning Axe? Lightning Axe being incredibly powerful. I think we can take a Braid, though. Do we reserve those two? Yeah, I think we do that. Having a lot of good removal, I think, is fantastic. There's a Pyrite Spellbomb, which is pretty good. I don't think we'll ever have something big enough for Tamer Battle Rage to, like, really shine. And Pyrite Spellbomb, I think, is just more generically useful in our deck. Gonna have to focus on starting to pick creatures, though. So we wouldn't mind, like, some Ichor Wellsprings and Rage Reflection. Creatures you control have double strike. That would probably end the game. Unaginata. Do we have any creatures with power 3 or greater? I don't think we do. I mean, we have some equipment, and this is good equipping to things with other equipment. There's also a Tog, effectively, and a Defiant Salvager. Crap. I think we gotta go with the Tog, really. Rage Reflection might come around. It's also super expensive. Okay. There's a Sphinx Summoner, which we can use to get Parasitic Strix or Glaze Fiend or Cortapper or Eager Construct. Also just not a bad creature. Ash Barrens for fixing, Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot for card advantage. I'm gonna go with the Sphinx Summoner. There were a lot of artifact creatures in that pack, so I think we're in an open lane. Like I said, we'd like some more Glaze Fiends and Parasitic Strix, I think. Shamanic Revelation. I can't pronounce that card. I know I pronounced it wrong. Alright. Honestly, I'm glad this is in this format. I really want to build a ramp deck with that in it now. I think Sickle Slicer is the way to go, though. Battle Rage could be good, but need more artifact creatures. Especially living weapon creatures, because, like, there's things like Kazul's Toll Collector, and it's like, once these things die, playing a Toll Collector and making it huge is probably a thing you can do. There's a battlefield, you may sack an artifact. If you do, it deals 4 damage divided among any number of targets. That's pretty good. Throne of Geth, we don't really have any 1/1 counters or anything. I'm going to take the Toll Collector because we have so many living weapons and random equipments. There's a Fulminator Mage. If I was not doing a Phantom event, I would almost certainly take that. But we're doing a Phantom event, which is why it's even here in the first place. We'll take a Glaze Fiend. Open the Vaults is kind of out of our range here. I think we take a Costly Plunder. Yeah, let's take a Costly Plunder. There's a Balduvian Rage, another Costly Plunder, which we're probably not playing. I guess I'll take the Rage. I was actually thinking this was a different card. I was thinking it was the 3-mana red Berserk from Time Spiral. Metallic Rebuke could be good here. We have a lot of cheap artifacts to reduce the cost of Metallic Rebuke. I don't think I want too many Balduvian Rages, so we'll take a Metallic Rebuke. Steel Sabotage could be really good in the sideboard. Battle Rattle Shaman's not a bad pickup in an aggro deck. And Throne of Geth. Alright, we'll take a Throne of Geth. Last pack, we have... Man, Pure Steel Paladin. Pure Steel Paladin would be a hell of a card. 1, 2, 3, 4 artifact equipments, I guess. Dragonwick Cremator, discard a card at random. You discard a creature, it deals damage equal to its power. Some good red top end. There's also a Chief of the Foundry, which is honestly, I think, better for us than Pure Steel right now, just because we can actually play it. There's a Brainstorm, Puzzle Knot, another Puzzle Knot, Brawl Death Priest. And if we went Jund instead of Grixis, sacking artifacts with Vandals seems pretty good. But I think we take Cremator and Chief of the Foundry. I think that those are the two best pickups for our deck here. All right, next pack. There's a Council's Judgment. Wow, kind of wish I was in white. Same with Weapons Trainer and Golem Skin Gauntlets. I think Parasitic Strix is where I want to be here because we have so many Glaze Fiends. There's some notion of Welding Jar too, but that'll probably come around. Aegis of the Will. Okay, there's a Sunken Ruins, which is on color fixing. There's also a Thopter Foundry. Yes please, I will take a Thopter Foundry. Making a bunch of random flyers that pump our 3 Glaze Fiends has gotta be good. And it's in 2 of our colors. It's just a Dimir artifact for us. Yes. Yes, Thopter Foundry. Alright, Vishkal, Blood Arbiter, a little expensive, kind of out of our colors. There's a Painsmith. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may have target creature get +2/+0 and Death Touch until end of turn. That seems really good. That's basically another Glaze Fiend. I hope all of these Chromatic Stars wheel, because if they do, we're going to have a wonderful time. Graven Cairns is on color fixing. Don't think we'll be playing 2 Thrones of Geth. There's a Thopter Engineer. Oh man, I want the fixing. We don't really have a lot of double red or black, but I think... And there's an Unlicensed Disintegration. We do not have a lot of removal. I think we gotta go with Unlicensed Disintegration. Yeah, I think we need a little more removal than we got. Man, this is a tough pack. I think that signals that I'm supposed to see the next pack. Okay, here we go. There is Liege of the Tangle. Oh gosh. There's an Ion Storm, which we could get a lot of charge counters, but we don't do so naturally. And we're probably not playing the cards that give us charge counters anyway. There's another Metallic Rebuke. I think I take Mirror Retriever though. Like, it's not an incredibly aggressive card, but it is another artifact creature, and there's stuff we can do with like Thopter Foundry that involve it, so. Heartbeat of Spring, good to see ya. There's a Defiant Salvager for us. Still don't think this is a Temur Battle Rage deck, but maybe there's something to Balduvian Rage and Battle Rage. Yeah, we're not taking the Tower. Strength of Arms would be good if we were in white. Chromatic Star and Hidden Stockpile. If we were in white, Hidden Stockpile... Oh, actually, it doesn't synergize with... Yeah, non-token artifact. Okay. I guess it does, sort of, just in the opposite way of what I was thinking. Definitely taking Chromatic Star here. It's a way to draw a card. It's good to sack to like an Orcish Vandal or a Ravenous Intruder. Pumps all our Glaze Fiends and such. So, Chromatic Star it is. Definitely think we're going Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot as well. There's another Sift. There's a Weapon Surge. It's a very cheap way to pump the whole team and give them first strike and instant speed. We're going pretty wide. I think this is the deck for this. Sunken Ruins or Chromatic Star. I gotta go with the Star. Because Sunken Ruins, while it is on color fixing, is just, I think, worse than a Chromatic Star for us. I don't think we'd be playing a third Orcish Vandal. I'll take another Metallic Rebuke. I don't think I'm playing that either, but I'm more likely to play it than a third Orcish Vandal. We don't use charge counters, so Brainstorm is fine. Probably not playing it because I don't have a shuffled. Why did it take Surge Node? I thought I reserved... Well, whatever. Whatever. Alright. We have 40 playable cards. Okay. Well then. I'm probably not playing 3 or maybe even 1 Metallic Rebuke. Golem Skin Gauntlets seem a little iffy. We don't have a lot of equipment. We have some. And it's probably not going to have multiple equipment end up on the same creature. Let's see. We're not playing Surge Node. I'm not sure if we're playing Costly Plunder. We might, depending on the needs of this deck. I think I'm going to go down to 1 Orcish Vandal. We don't have a ton of artifacts for sacrificing. Core Tapper is extremely weak, and its effect is not super valuable. A lot of our creatures are artifacts, so I think Chief of the Foundry is going to get some work done here. It doesn't pump Sickle Slicer or Skinwing, though. Oh, we're not playing Throne of Geth. We don't add a bunch of 1/1 counters or anything. Cremator is a 4-mana 5/4 with a little bit of card disadvantage stapled on, but I don't think it's terrible. Let's see. This is actually going to be kind of tough. Maybe I'm not playing Sift. Like, we have enough playable cards. I don't know how much card advantage we need. Like Sphinx Summoner, we can search for an artifact creature card, and that's great. Yeah, I don't think I can take a turn off to play a 4-mana draw 2. potentially draw 3 if we like discard a land or something we don't need. Probably need to cut some non-creature spells. Question is what? Valdivian Rage does replace itself. It's not a terrible trick either. I think it's probably worse than like Weapon Surge and Supernatural Stamina. We don't have a lot of enters the battlefield effects, but if we get something first striked down that's an artifact creature, and we have Glazed Fiends out, we're probably in a great spot. Porter, get out of that.
I don't want you over there. It's just my good boy. Listen to Dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut Rage. I want to be developing my board almost every turn. If I have a little bit of mana left over for like a cheap artifact or spell, then fantastic, but I don't think I want to be holding up a lot of mana for a big trick. I mean, it could end the game, right? But we effectively have 18 creatures and 11 non-creatures, and I always count the living weapon stuff as creature, and we need to cut 5 cards. Wow. Okay. I like Weapon Surge. I think I'm gonna cut Weapon Surge. It's really good because we go wide, right? And it's 2 mana, deal X damage, where X is the number of creatures you control if they're all, if they all don't get blocked. But I think if we go that wide, that this starts to become a really good spell, and we don't this is only good if we need to start breaking the symmetry on like board math or something. And most of our creatures are really evasive anyway. I think if I'm having a trick in this deck, it's Supernatural Stamina. I think that's better. I think I'm going to cut Orcish Vandal. I would rather be sacrificing stuff most of the time to like Defiant Salvager or Thopter Foundry. I mean, the reach could really help. That might actually be a mistake. Maybe it's better than Defiant Salvager? Yeah, I actually think that's the case. Dragonwick Cremator is a 4-mana 5/4, but we have to discard a card. This is not a problem if we want to discard the card we're holding, or we're holding no cards. We can mitigate that. And we're an aggressive deck with a pretty low curve, so I think that's actually tenable. Like, we can do that. Plus, you never know. We might get to like where we're only holding a Sphinx Summoner and be 3 damage away from something. So as long as we can actually afford to cast it, which, given the amount of red we have, we should be able to, because we're basically just splashing blue. Still need to cut 3 cards. This is getting really tough. I think I'm going to sideboard a Braid. We can bring it in if we need creature removal or artifact removal. We have Is it Charm and License Disintegration, though? I think in the general case, these are going to be better. And like, we have to make cuts, and I don't want to cut too many creatures. I want to have a like critical mass of creatures. I think I got to cut Supernatural Stamina as well. And we curve out at 4. I don't know if I can run 16 lands and 41 cards. I want to, but I don't know if I don't think I can be correct here. I think the last cut has to be a creature. What is my worst creature here? So all of these cards are incredibly aggressive. Orcish Vandal being probably the least aggressive of those. And then Mirror Retriever is our least aggressive 2-drop. Of our 3 drops, either Toll Collector or Sickle Slicer is the worst, but they're still not bad. Of our 4 drops, I think it's probably got to be Skinwing. And of course we only have 1 5-drop, but our 5-drop is really good. I'm going to do it. I'm going to run 16 lands. Why is there plains? Get out of there. We have only 5 islands, 5 mountains. Mountain is slightly more important, but we have 2 chromatic stars. And swamp is the most important, is resolving these and Thopter Foundry and such. I wish I'd taken that Graven Cairns and Sunken Hollow, but I know we picked Chromatic Star over one of them, and the other one I think we also got something pretty crazy. At 1 pack with Thopter Engineer and Graven Cairns and... Was it Thopter Foundry was the last card? I don't remember, but it was 1 pack that was like super loaded. Alright, here we go. We lost the die roll. Oh man, yeah, we'll keep this. We only have 1 color of mana, but as long as we draw artifacts, which comprise the majority of our deck, we're probably fine. Opponent starts Flare Husk. We start Swamp. We've drawn every swamp in our deck but 1. Opponent gets in for 1, we take 1 and go to 19. They play a Swiftblade Vindicator. We draw Swiftwing, or Skinwing, excuse me. Play Glaze Fiend, pass the turn. Opponent is playing the red-white equipment deck. Kind of surprised they're not equipping. They attack for 3. We'll take 3. Opponent plays a Mearsmith. Draw Kazul's Toll Collector. Play Glaze Fiend. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent plays a Mountain. Equips Swiftblade Vindicator. Gets in for 6. Take 6. We draw an island. Play a swamp. Play Skinwing. Pump the Fiends. Get in for 4. Okay. Kind of hoping to draw a red land. Okay, opponent attacks. Trade here. We untap, we draw Pyrite Spellbomb. Not really what we wanted to see. Okay. I mean, it would be if we had red, of course. So, play Pyrite Spellbomb. Bump the Glaze Fiends. Draw a card. Parasitic Strix. Parasitic Strix is pretty good here. Play Parasitic Strix. Drain our opponent, pump the team. Go to combat. Attack for 8. Take our opponent to 4. And then as long as they don't gain life or make Swiftblade Vindicator bigger, we win. I don't know if there's like Boros Charm in this format or anything. Opponent attacks. We are going to block just to soak up a little damage. Take 2. Go to 6. Opponent plays a Plains Kuldultha Flame Fiend. I think this means we have to draw an artifact in order to kill our opponent. Oh no, they can kill both of our guys. That's super bad. And we take 2. We draw Painsmith. Play a Swamp. Play Painsmith. Play Mirror Retriever. Pump itself, I guess. Okay, pass the turn. Okay, opponent goes to combat. Attacks, attacks. Well, the only way we get out of this is, I think, just blocking here. If opponent has a combat trick, they're going to kill us. Okay, pick up. Parasitic Strix. Opponent plays a Mountain. Passes, we draw. Glaze Fiend. Play Glaze Fiend. Pump Painsmith. Just gives us a redundancy in case they have removal to prevent us from gaining life off of Parasitic Strix. Take our opponent down to 2. Pump Glaze Fiend. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks, attacks. Block here. There's got to be some sort of direct damage, but we're taking 1 anyway. It could save us from a spell bomb. So we're going to block. Okay, Chief of the Foundry. Play Chief. Go to combat. Kill our opponent. Awesome. Whew. Got there. It was a little scary. We did never get red mana either. I think this is where we would want an Abrade. And I think we cut... what do we cut for Abrade? Maybe a Sickle Slicer? Okay, run it back. I don't actually think we can play Kragenwick Cremator in this deck. I think I actually need to cut that for something else. Because if I wanted to play that on time, I think I need 6 red sources. I technically have 7 off of Chromatic Stars, but we're probably going to crack those earlier than that. Our opponent chooses to play first. We have 3 Glaze Fiends and a Thopter Foundry. I'm going to keep. Something tells me to keep this in my bones. Opponent starts Mountain. Player Husk. Okay. We draw a Skinwing. Start Swamp. Pass the turn. Technically should have started Island if I drew a Mountain and wanted to Izzet Charm for some reason. Opponent plays a Mountain, gets in for 1. Okay. We draw a Swamp. I kind of want to start Thopter Foundry, actually. I know this sets us back by a turn on our aggression, but it saves all of our Glaze Fiends from removal, like we at least get something out of the deal. Opponent plays a Salivating Gremlins. Gets +2/+0 and gains trample anytime they play a creature, or anytime they play an artifact, that is. Play a Mountain. Play Glaze Fiend. Represent Metallic Rebuke. Pass the turn. Okay. Opponent goes to combat, attacks for 3. We'll take 3. Opponent plays a Swiftblade Vindicator. We untap, we draw Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot. So we can either double Glaze Fiend here. I think that's the play. I think double Glaze Fiend. This is only a problem if they can suit up and give Swiftblade Vindicator more than 2 toughness, which I'm not entirely sure they can. Kind of hoping to draw land next turn. Iron League Steed. Okay, they're going to make a servo, make Salivating Gremlins huge. They attack for a lot. We'll take a lot. Okay, Island is good. Play Island. Play Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot. Pump the Fiends, lose a life, draw a card. Sack Puzzle Knot. Get a token, gain a life. Man, if we could sack the Thopter there. We can attack for 12. Take our opponent to 4. Shock here. Block here, provided our opponent doesn't have an artifact. We could also just sack 2 artifacts and block a bunch of things. That's probably good enough. We can sack here, gain a life, gain a token, deal the same amount of damage. But I think we just attack for 12. We should be able to We should be able to sack enough things to Thopter Foundry to stay alive. Okay, opponent plays a Plains. So we block here, and we currently take more than lethal. So we will need to be sacking stuff. Is it Charm's probably not going to save us. Because we could kill this, block here, still take 4. Okay, opponent plays a Skinwing. We could counter it, but I think that still kills us. Okay, opponent goes to combat. Sack a Glaze Fiend, gain life. Sack a Glaze Fiend, gain life. Go to blocks. Block here. Block here. Oh, are we 1 off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, they got us exactly. Alright, well, I should have played a Glaze Fiend a turn earlier. I shouldn't have played a Thopter Foundry. Probably. We want any last minute adjustments? We want Weapon Surge? No, I don't think we do. I think being on the play with an aggressive hand is the way we want to go. Alright, we'll play first. Ooh, this is not an aggressive hand. I don't think I can mulligan it, though. Yeah, I think we're going to focus on killing a lot of our opponent's creatures this game. They mulligan to 6, that's good news for us. Start Spellbomb. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Goblin Gavalier. We draw Unlicensed Disintegration. Play Vandal. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains and a Darksteel Axe. Yeah, this is not Bone Splitter. Opponent attacks for 1. We untap. We draw Battle Rattle Shaman. Play a Mountain. Play a Puzzle Knot. Draw a card. Lose 1 life. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. Goes to equip. Sack Puzzle Knot. We untap. Draw Is It Charm, which is a pretty good draw here. Play Battle Rattle Shaman. Pump the Vandal. Attack. Take our opponent to 17. Nothing to do on their turn. Opponent plays a Skinwing. Sure. We draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp. So we could shock with Is It Charm, attack for 5. I think saving Unlicensed Disintegration for a scarier creature is the way to go. Hit our opponent for 5. Pass the turn. Opponent's going to revoke existence to exile an artifact or enchantment. Well, let's draw a card. Ooh, Parasitic Strix. Okay, opponent plays a Weapons Trainer. We draw an island. We're going to save Parasitic Strix to try and get some Helix value out of it. Should we? Oh, I should have played this first. I am so sorry, I just missed 3 damage. I, for some reason, was like, we still have an artifact. We have so many artifact creatures. Yeah, never mind. That was a huge mistake. If I lose this game because I didn't deal 3 damage to my opponent, I will be a little upset. Well, they revoked existence Parasitic Strix and played a Swiftblade Vindicator, which will very handily kill us. Unless, of course, we draw a Braid and can just abrade it now. Opponent says, well, lol. Alright then. Well, we missed a bunch of damage, but it wasn't relevant, thank goodness. I would never hear the end of it. Opponent's last card was a Kuldultha Flame Fiend. Alright, well that's round 1. I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, round 2. Here we go. I mean, yeah, let's do it. Opponent starts Plains. We draw Battle Rattle Shaman. Play a Mountain. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest into an Ancestral Blade. We draw an Island. Island is good. Okay, play Glaze Fiend. Pass the turn. Opponent gets in for 2. Take 2. Opponent is green-white, probably some amount of tokens. Loot Sleeve Artisan makes a token. Alright, they're definitely tokens. We draw another mountain, play an island, play Parasitic Strix. Okay, zap our opponent for 2. Pump Glaze Fiend. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Okay, opponent goes down to 16. They play a forest. They play another Ancestral Blade. They suit up the token, and they attack for 6. Sure. Take 6. We untap. We draw a Darksteel Axe. So let's see. Play a mountain. We could play a Toll Collector and a Darksteel Axe, and then suit up Toll Collector. Or we could play Battle Rattle Shaman. Battle Rattle Shaman is 4 damage this turn. Kazul Darksteel is 4 damage this turn, potentially more next turn. I think the Toll Collector and Darksteel Axe play is what I want to make. This at least lets us block a 1/1 token safely. Okay. Hit our opponent for 4, take them to 12. I wouldn't be too upset if we had to trade off the Toll Collector. Okay, opponent plays a Plains. Attack for a bunch. Yeah, we'll block. Kind of hoping to draw land to play Sphinx Summoner. Okay, opponent plays Conclave Naturalists. They're going to kill Glaze Fiend. That's a problem. Opponent is main decking really good artifact destruction, which kind of sucks. I think we lost. Play Glaze Fiend. Equip Strix. We can attack for 4, take them to 8. There's some notion we might be able to kill them next turn, actually. They only have 9 damage, and we could block 1 if we had to, so we're going to attack for 4. Okay. Opponent plays an Ancestral Blade. This is going to force us to block. Yeah, they are attacking for exactly lethal. So we need to find 4 damage somehow. I'm not sure that exists in our deck. We draw a Swamp. Battle Rattle only brings it up to 6, and we definitely die on the swing back. Could play a Sphinx Summoner. Block, take 5. Yeah, we needed the Glaze Fiend to live, unfortunately. Because if the Glaze Fiend had lived, they would have been at 12 because we wouldn't have attacked, so we would have had to block. Then we would have, like, Chromatic Star, Crack It, be at 4 mana. No, we'd still... No, that was our best bet. Okay, cool. Well, we did what we could, and opponent had a Conclave Naturalists. Otherwise, we would have won that race. Alright, definitely want a Braid. Probably better than Kragenwick Cremator in this matchup. I think we want Supernatural Stamina or Weapon Surge. Question is, over what? The answer to that question is, I don't know. I don't know, that was really close. We'll just run it back. Alright, we'll play first. Yeah, we'll keep. Start Swamp, pass the turn. If we draw land, we're playing Painsmith. If we don't, we're playing Eager Construct. Okay. Play Eager Construct. Chromatic Star to the bottom. Need to hit a land. Pass the turn. I'm going to plays an Ancestral Blade. We untap. Draw Glaze Fiend. Do we trade? I think we do. So offer the trade. Okay. Opponent comes out of that slightly better than us. Let's draw a land. Okay, opponent plays a Mishra's Factory and a Fencing Ace. Equips Fencing Ace. That's not a land, but I think it's the next best thing. Play Puzzle Knot, pump Glaze Fiend, draw a card. Mountain, perfect. Play Mountain, go to combat, attack for 2. Okay, we'd like to draw a Swamp now. Okay, opponent attacks for 4, we take 4. They did not animate Mishra's Factory, so they have something to play here. Another Ancestral Blade. Okay, and another Ancestral Blade. Alright. Not a Swamp. Okay, we're gonna play a Mountain. I was hoping to play Painsmith and Thopter Foundry this turn, but I think just playing Thopter Foundry might be good enough. We could also play Sickle Slicer, but that's better next turn. Hopefully we draw another land. Yeah, play Thopter Foundry. Okay. Sack Puzzle Knot. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Because now we can chump the double striking guy. Okay, opponent plays a forest. Angel of Dawn. Alright, that's kind of a problem. Opponent attacks for a lot. Block here. Draw Pyrite Spellbomb. We can use that to kill the fencing ace. We can play Painsmith, play Pyrite Spellbomb, pump Glaze Fiend, kill fencing ace. Yeah, that's gotta be good enough. Play Painsmith, play Spellbomb, pump Glaze Fiend, go to combat, attack for 4. Okay, no blocks for our opponent. So, kill fencing ace, pass the turn. Okay, opponent attacks for 7, no blocks. We'll take 7 and go to 3. This is naturalists? It is. That's a problem. Okay, they kill Glaze Fiend. We draw a Glaze Fiend. Kind of wish we had drawn a couple more lands, but... So we play Sickle Slicer, block here and here, sack Sickle Slicer, gain 1 life, go to 4, make a token, and die to damage. We play Glaze Fiend, block here and here, sack both, or sack that and Thopter Foundry, go to 5, take 5, and die. Alright. Man, both times it's the Conclave Naturalists that get us. When it plays a factory, plays voice. You're not gonna use that land to pump it? Alright, well, we're super dead. Okay, that sucks. But I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, round 3, here we go. Well, it's not amazing, but if we get a Glaze Fiend, it's pretty good. Okay, opponent starts Forest. We draw an island. Start Swamp, play Chromatic Star, pass the turn. I guess I technically should start Island because the potential for us to want to Izzet Charm or the potential that Izzet Charm does exist no longer exists, so it doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, we do not have a 2-drop. We're going to play an Island, pass the turn. Could try and crack to draw one, but I would rather save that for when we need the mana or the card. Okay, opponent plays a Fierce Empath. See what they draw. Progenitor Mimic. Oh god. Okay. Play Swamp. Play Glaze Fiend. Pass the turn. Leave up Metallic Rebuke. Telegraphing it hard. Opponent plays a Predator. Passes. Man, they're going to play a Progenitor Mimic, and we are going to lose. I've got a feeling. Okay. We will play Mountain. Play Chief of the Foundry. Pump Glaze Fiend. And give it +1/+1 as well. Get in for 3. Okay, opponent plays a Swamp. Progenitor Mimic, Chief of the Foundry. That's pretty good. Opponent attacks for 3, no blocks. Hopefully this is too slow, and we kill them prior to that. I feel like there's some chance of that happening. Play an Island, start Puzzle Knot, pump Glaze Fiend, draw a card. Sphinx Summoner, okay. Play Parasitic Strix, drain our opponent, go to combat, attack for 5. I think not making a flying token, or a flying clone, might have been a mistake. Okay, opponent plays a Treasure Keeper. My attack for 6. Opponent is representing quite huge damage. Okay, untap. Draw an Eager Construct. So play a Mountain, crack for red, draw a card. Ooh, Thopter Foundry. So play an Eager Construct, like this. Pump Glaze Fiend. Everybody gets to scry. Painsmith to the bottom. Play Thopter Foundry. Pump Glaze Fiend. Sack Puzzle Knot. Pump Glaze Fiend. An opponent concedes. We were representing lethal damage there. Even an accelerated Progenitor Mimic on turn 5 wasn't enough to beat us. Whew. Okay, a Braid coming in. Opponent's got some artifacty stuff with their oh shoot, what was it? Treasure Keeper. I guess maybe we don't want a Braid, but they are a heavy creature deck, so what do we cut for a Braid? Probably Cremator. Alright, run it back. Man, Glaze Fiend is so good. We will be keeping this. We have 2 draws to hit a land, and we're pretty much good to go. Okay, opponent starts colorless land. Play a swamp. We did draw a land. I guess I should have started mountain in case I wanted to Izzet Charm. No respect for Izzet Charm. Opponent plays Whisperer of the Wilds. We draw an island. Well, Izzet Charm no longer an option. Play Glaze Fiend. 4 mana. We draw a Chromatic Star. Play Swamp. Play Chromatic Star. Pump Glaze Fiend. Go to combat. Attack for 2. We could attempt to Izzet Charm to take them off mana, but let's wait. Kind of thinking this might be a non-creature spell. Grand Architect. Alright. Now we can't counter that. We can't kill it with Izzet Charm either. Noble Hierarch. That might be better than Whisperer of the Wilds. But in this scenario, let's just prevent the damage. Okay. Untap. Draw Puzzle Knot. Play an island. Play Puzzle Knot. Leaving mana up like this in case we draw a Thopter Foundry and want to play it this turn. Okay. Play Mirror Retriever. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Opponent plays a Forest. 5 mana for a Cloud Reader Sphinx. Okay. No attacks. Alright, we draw another Glaze Fiend. Play an island. Play Glaze Fiend, Parasitic Strix. That doesn't make Glaze Fiend big enough. I think we just play Sphinx Summoner. Go find our other Parasitic Strix or other Glaze Fiend. Or Chief of the Foundry. Is Chief of the Foundry better? Next turn we could play Glaze Fiend, play Chief of the Foundry, and actually be big enough to attack through a Cloud Reader Sphinx? Yeah, let's take Chief of the Foundry. Okay, pass the turn. If our opponent Progenitor mimics a Chief or a Grand Architect, we are probably boned. Opponent plays a Forest. Big artifact. Whatever it is. Treasure Keeper. Okay. Shamanic Revelation. Alright. Well then. We untap. We draw Chromatic Star. That'll be good next turn. Play Glaze Fiend. Pump Glaze Fiend. Play Chief of the Foundry. Pump Glaze Fiends. Go to combat. Attack for 5. Okay, opponent takes 5. Pass the turn. Opponent sifts. Discards a Forest. Plays a Mountain. 4 mana available. Well, more than that available to our opponent. Opponent attacks for 5. Yeah, no blocks. Short of them like O-stoning here, I think we're oh, okay. I see what's going on. Okay, we untap. We draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp. Math. So Parasitic Strix Sickle Slicer makes both of those big enough to attack through the Sphinx. So we can attack for 5, 10, 14, and drain them for 2, take them to 1, basically. Alternatively, we Chromatic Star, crack for blue, and if we draw a 2-mana artifact, we win the game. We don't have that many left in the deck, but I think the possibility still exists. So we're going to do it this way. Play Chromatic Star, pump Glaze Fiends, crack for blue, draw a card. Painsmith. Play Painsmith. Play Parasitic Strix. What do we pump, though? So these will be 5 6s. I guess we pump one of them, because if our opponent has to block... No, we pump the Sphinx Summoner. That does offer our opponent a trade, but then it's a trade. Okay, drain our opponent. Pump our guys. Go to combat. Attack, attack, attack. Okay, opponent blocks the Sphinx Summoner. Goes to 1. We have 3 flyers, all of which are lethal. Even if they kill the Chief of the Foundry and make a flying blocker, we play Sickle Slicer and they lose. Opponent plays an island. They cast a Gore Clan Rampager. Well, it doesn't have reach, so unless they have a fog, I think they're dead. Another Treasure Keeper. Alright. We untap, we draw Vandal. Bicycle Slicer, Pump a Glaze Fiend, and GG opponent. Alright, we get 100 play points. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know I did. Glaze Fiend aggro seems like a pretty viable archetype. Glaze Fiend and Parasitic Strix make for a pretty good combo. If we had like more chromatic stars, this deck could have been way nastier. But unfortunately we did not. Unfortunately, like, we missed a bunch of cards because they were in the packs of other cards we needed and they didn't wheel. Like, if we had gotten a Thopter Engineer and stuff like that started getting haste, like, we would have been in a much better place. And probably could have won round 2 with hasted creatures. But unfortunately, I didn't value the pick enough. So, anyway, I'm going to keep doing double Masters drafts because I really, really enjoy them. And everybody on YouTube seems to be enjoying them too. There's we're getting, like, double the normal viewership on double Masters drafts. So, there will be more constructed content. It might be a little bit. Hopefully, today is my stream recording day, or streaming day, so hopefully we can do some constructed content on stream with all the Pioneer bands and whatnot. But yeah, let me know what you thought. Leave a like, drop a comment, anything you can do. I'd appreciate it. I'll respond. You can also follow me on Twitch, same username on there as you can find me on here. You know, subscribe to this channel if you're so inclined. It would help out a lot. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can actually get monetized and somewhat be compensated for my time doing this. But yeah, I just do this for fun. So, all right, well, I will talk to you all later. If you watched this long, you're a wonderful human being, and I greatly appreciate all the support that you've given me. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!